Hello. Hello, beautiful souls. My mic is really hot. It's been a while since I've been on. Such a long time. I've been wanting to come on, but I just haven't got on here. And I couldn't sleep, so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and read the Proverbs. That's where I kind of just stopped on my last lives. Sorry, my mic is super sensitive. I'm like, oh, hello. Happy Tuesday. I just came back from a worship meeting and I don't know. I just wanted to come on. I've been thinking like the summer would be a good time to come on. Hopefully I will take these. I was continuing in the Proverbs and I have them on I think I have the lives still on my YouTube, and I have I think I have Proverbs 1 through 14, no, 1 through 12 on my TikTok. So I'm going to continue on from that reading. So it'll be in, I think it's chapter 13. I'm pretty sure that's the one. I was checking and I was trying to figure out, and I was like, yeah, I think that's the one that I left a while ago. I'm not even sure the last time I've been on here. I know it's been more than a month. It's maybe been like 3 months. I don't know. But I don't even know if I went in the beginning of the year. But I am so happy to be on this live again. I'm still going to kind of get used to these lives. I've been working early mornings, so it's been harder to do the night lives. And my dog could be kind of loud, so this was a perfect moment. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm reading the Proverbs. I am reading Proverbs 13. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds on violence. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. He who despises the word will be destroyed, but he who fears a commandment will be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. Good understanding gains favor, but the way of the unfaithful is hard. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool lays open his folly. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful ambassador brings health. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. A desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. Evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor, and for lack of justice there is waste. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he will of the poor, and for lack of justice there is waste. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. Thank you for the likes. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome for the likes. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if you guys are hearing, I think there's a little buzz. I don't know if it's my headphones. This is the first time I use my mic in a long, long time, so I'm still trying to figure out. I might have to buy a couple new things. Thank you so much. I don't know what's buzzing. Do you guys hear the buzzing, or is that just my headphones? It could be my headphones. Let me know. I think it's my headphones. A slight buzz that you do get. My it's so weird. Like, it's been a while since I've used this. It's so crazy. Every time I go on these lives, something gets off. It's been a while too. I don't think it's my headphones. I think it still sounds good though. Oh, okay. It might be just a slight. I'll just kind of speak kind of closer. I know my air turned on, so I'm like, I wonder if it's that. In my ears, it sounds like super loud. But the moment I unplug it, it'll turn off my live. That's so weird, because it wasn't there until... Unless it's like static, imagine. It's gonna shock me. Alright, maybe I'll do a shorter live. I won't do as many Proverbs, just so I can hear it after and see if it's something I can take out. If not, I'll probably do like a live that, maybe without my mic. I'll probably just use my headsets. Hello, hello. I've never had that sound before. Again, it's like the first time I've used this mic in quite a long time, so it could be like a dust. Happy Tuesday. I always forget what day it is. It's so like loud to me. I thought that would help. I was like, if I just mute it, maybe it would help, but it doesn't like it. So I'll read. Maybe I'll only read one more. I did not test my mic before. Or maybe I'll just do a shorter live. Let's see, how long did I been on? It used to tell me how long I've been on, but it's not telling me how long I've been on the live. Unless I go in and out of the live and then maybe I'll go away. God bless you too. Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. I know last time I came on, my hair was red. Before that, I think it was blue, and it was blonde. I just keep changing it. I really like to change my hair though. Alright. Can you guys hear me now? I feel like I kind of unplugged it. I kind of knocked it out. I can't hear myself. Ooh, that's weird. I can't hear myself. So if you can hear me, let me know. On the other one, it's nice because I can kind of hear the live feed, and I can't hear the live feed. So as long as you can hear me, I'm good. I'm assuming the likes are that you can hear me. Thank you for the likes. So I used to come on here and read through the whole Bible. I did it within a year, and then I did it in 90 days. I think on my YouTube I've posted those already, and now I'm kind of just going through Proverbs, and I'm taking these videos and putting them on my TikTok. So I have Proverbs 1 through 12, and I just read chapter 13. So I normally do maybe like 2 or 3 of them. It really depends on the Proverbs. This Proverbs was fairly short, and it talked. I'll read some of the commentary in my Bible because I do like reading that. It says, money is only a small ingredient of both wealth and poverty. A person may be rich in material goods but have nothing of wisdom. In Proverbs, great riches are not measured by money. I think that's such an important thing. And it kind of focused on verse 7 where it says, there is one who makes himself rich yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor yet has great riches. The next verse that it talks about, it's hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. And it says hope deferred is literally long drawn out or delayed in fulfillment, can cause disappointment and depression in body and spirit. The realization of hope gives encouragement, just like a tree that gives life. It brings new vitality to the body and the spirit. Oh, and then there's another one that's like for verse 24, and it talks about disciplining your children. And it says, God disciplines his children, and earthly parents are instructed to do the same. Loving parents inflict temporary discomfort on their children to keep them from the long-range tragedy that inevitably accompanies lives without discipline. God disciplines us for our good, that we might share his holiness and learn to live wisely and righteously. Parents discipline their children for the same reasons. The method of discipline mentioned in this verse and throughout Proverbs is spanking with a rod. In Hebrew, it's shavet, the rod of discipline. Oh, thank you, Kametsu, for the roses. Hate is used figuratively in the sense that refusal to discipline a child is to act as his enemy. Overlooking faults, ignoring disobedience, and refusing to administer discipline does not influence a child to go the right way, but rather allows the child's self-will to gain control over life and actions. Love is a balance and bring force in discipline. Love is always to be the greatest motivation for discipline. And I think there's a lot of times that what parents miss out in is when they give the discipline and then they don't kind of explain it. You know, some kids are like, well, like, yeah, I know that I do this and I get in trouble for it, but I don't understand why. And it's always good to have that, the direction, you know, that information. I think there should be like a balance in that, you know, because some things are more vital that they learn, and other things could be just explained, I think. I'll go ahead and continue on for Proverbs chapter 14. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. He who walks in his uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. In the mouth of a fool is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise will preserve them. Where no oxen are, the trough is clean, but much increase comes by the strength of an ox. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and does not find it, but knowledge is easy to him who understands. Go from the presence of a foolish man when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools mock at sin, but among the upright there is favor. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share its joy. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Even in laughter the heart may sorrow, and the end of mirth may be grief. The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages and is self-confident. A quick-tempered man acts foolishly, and a man of wicked intentions is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil will bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor man is hated even by his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins, but he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not go astray who devise evil? But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. In the fear of the Lord there is strong confidence, and his children will have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is a king's honor, but in the lack of people is the downfall of a prince. He who is slow to wrath has great understanding, but he who is impulsive exalts folly. A sound heart is life to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he who honors him has mercy on the needy. The wicked is banished in his wickedness, but the righteous has a refuge in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of him who has understanding, but what is in the heart of fools is made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is towards a wise servant, but his wrath is against him who causes shame. They start with a note here that says, a wise woman builds. The fact that this woman is called wise indicates that she fears and reverences the Lord. She conscientiously builds her house, making her entire household thrive, because she has learned that wisdom brings the happiness and prosperity she deserves for her family. The wise woman cares for her home, causing it to flourish and become a haven to those who live there. She builds her home by making wise choices in her relationships and with her husband and children. She works on her marriage knowing that intimacy does not happen naturally, but must be developed. All building takes time, picturing brick set upon brick until a sturdy, safe home is constructed. In contrast, the foolish woman does not build. She tears down both her possessions and her relationships. She destroys by her own efforts with her hands, her tongue, her idleness, and her lack of interest. And it says, where there is no progress, there is no problems. Some disturbance is necessary for growth and accomplishment to occur. For verse 12, where it says, this is the way that seems right to a man, but its end is a way of death. There's a note that says, the right way. The figure that is of a journey in which the traveler imagines that he is pursuing a straight path that will lead him to his desired goal of success and happiness. Sin is often able to hide its own character and disguise its bitter end. He finds too late that the easy path leads to an early death. Human wisdom, folly, is the way of death. The path of that person determines to be right without regard for God. The path of life is submissive obedience to the will of the Lord. That is true wisdom. It goes on, it says, the backslider, literally proven to be unfaithful, is a person who has turned away from God in his heart, and instead of seeking his own way, sadly, he will reap what he sows. He will never find true satisfaction. And that's on verse 14. And it says, the backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above. What they wrote there, though, is so straight to the point, though. He will reap what he sows. He will reap what I'm tongue-tied today. He will reap what he sows. He will never find true satisfaction. And that is so I don't know. I don't want to say cutthroat, but that's to the point, if you turn away from God, that's it. You have to reap what you sow. Hi. And then it says, the fear of the Lord brings blessing, including a strong confidence or security, and a fountain of life, source of spiritual vitality. With wisdom, there is refuge in the Lord and escape from death. The children, too, will learn from their mother and father the benefits of a wise life lived in reverence before God. Patience is the evidence of wisdom, but the impulsive, literally short of spirit, or impatient, quick-tempered person shows folly. Patience produces increased wisdom, that is, the righteousness of God. And then the last note that they have for chapter 14, it says, a sound heart can be translated as a healthy, tranquil mind. A healthy mind produces a healthy body, but envy destroys physical health. And that was verse 30. And it says, a sound heart is life to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. And I think it's mainly talking more about maybe contentment, because it's kind of contrasting with envy. A sound heart. There's another note for, so see, Proverbs 4:20. I'm going to go back to that one. 4:20 through 27 note. It talks about the heart. It says, heart is a term that includes mind, emotion, and will. The decision is made in the inner being. Therefore, the heart must be guarded carefully. Keeping the heart involves what is said, what is seen, and what is done. That is so crazy because, okay, so my heart has been bothering me for the last probably 3 days. And today it was so crazy. Every time I start reading like on these lives, or I go through like these probably anytime I go through the Bible, a lot of people don't realize how much the Lord can speak to you through the Bible. But my heart has been hurting, and I don't mean just like a like a broken heart kind of thing, but like literally my heart is like has been feeling like it's like fluttering, like it's doing some weird something really weird. And I know that's something that, if you are not at peace, if you're not taking hold of God's peace. Let me go back to that verse. I just saw the verse that you just put there. Yes, it said, my son, give attention to my words, incline your ear to my sayings, do not let them depart from your eyes, keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh. God bless you. Welcome. It's so nice to see all you guys again. It's amazing. Like, I have not been on these lives in a long time, but I am always so blessed to. I'm really just reading. Like, a lot of people ask, like, why do you do the live? And I'm like, it's really just me reading. You guys get to hear me read it out loud. And when I read it out loud, there's something different in reading the Bible out loud than it has been me just reading the Bible or even listening to the Bible. When I read it out loud, I don't know if I'm telling myself it or that's the way I process it, but it is so different, and I love reading on these lives. A sound heart. But anyways, I was talking about how, yeah, my heart was hurting, and I was like, man, I feel like my heart is broken. And I have not been praying for peace, but today when I was at the we were talking about at a worship meeting. I was at a worship meeting for like, we had a worship and a tech, and we had our ASL, like we all kind of met together and kind of just shared. There was like announcements and things come and things on people's hearts, and one of the things was talking about in Colossians 3, which has been something that I've kind of been reading over and over again. It's actually something that's painted on this, not this verse, but a verse in that chapter is in my is on the wall of one of my rooms in my house. But this one, in Colossians 3:15, it said, and let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which you were called in one body, and be thankful. And that really stood out to me because I was really anxious, and I don't know, I don't know if I make myself anxious or if I was, kind of stressing out before and then I was anxious. It's very interesting. It's kind of like it becomes a cycle, where I'm like, oh, my heart hurts, and then like I think about it too much and then I make it worse, or maybe I'm stressed out and then that causes my heart to hurt. So it's like it's been interesting to find what causes that. Oh, sorry. I'm having all the mishaps today. I was like, wait, that's the wrong color. But yeah, the heart is, like it said on the other one, it's talking about like your body, your mind, your soul. It's like, it's kind of just everything all together. And a sound heart. There was a song. It talks about, I think, a sound heart. I remember looking up a study. I probably shared this before. I feel like I've shared this before, but you guys may have not heard. And I looked up the study. It was like a sound mind, a sound heart, and then there's another sound. I don't know if it was sound words, but I remember like I'm unplugging it. I keep bumping into the into the into the light. Sorry, I had approved comments. I don't know why it didn't let me. It blocked your comment for some reason. Yeah, a sound mind, a sound heart, and I think there was sound doctrine. That was it. It wasn't word, but it was sound doctrine. And I was just kind of like, well, how do they correlate? And I remember just looking into it. But when you think about like a sound mind, that is something that people struggle with so much. You know, having a sound mind. But yeah, there's a song. There's a song. And then like it said earlier, it's like keeping the words, the word of God, like in your heart. That would give you that clarity and that direction. And I feel like I haven't been reading as much. I still listen to the Bible. Like I've been listening to, if you guys don't have Spotify, Spotify is pretty amazing. You could find so many different pastors. Lately, I've been listening to J. Vernon McGee. He's reading through the Bible in 5 years, which has been something I've been thinking about. Because since I read through the Bible, and I kind of just want like an overview. Like there are some pastors that will do like an overview of the Bible, or like, let's talk about Genesis, and they're gonna kind of do an overview. Not that I don't want to like study it, but I think there's like this song or this like rap that I heard, and it talked about what each book of the Bible was about, and it was a really short. And I like straight to the point things. Like I like direct. Like you don't have to give me all the flowery like commentary. It's like, just tell me what it is. It is what it is, kind of thing. And like I like that. So if you can give me like one word of what Genesis is, or like something that I can like grasp. And so I've been looking for that, and I just happened to be listening to J. Vernon McGee, and he's just going through the Bible. So I listened to him. He finished Jonah, which Jonah, wow, that is an interesting book. And he summed it up in resurrection. That was his main theme. And I like that. Like, if you can just give me one thing that I could learn about the whole book, because you read it and you're just like, man, or you can like study it and be too involved and not see the whole picture. And that was my motivation to read the whole Bible as a book, and as one book, because there's a reason why it's all together. There's a reason why it's this and not individually. I actually have, I think it's on the other side of the room, but I actually have each book of the Bible, except for some of the small ones are kind of put together, but I have each individual book separated in notebooks. And because I want to go deeper into that, but I felt before I go deep into each book, I need an overview. I need to know like that I've gone through it cover to cover. And there's something that happens when you go through the whole Bible. I'm going with the Bible with my kids right now, and I'm teaching them, well, we're kind of just teaching like, you just continue on. If you try to read through the Bible and say you skip a day or something, like just continue on, like from the day that you missed. So we've kind of been doing that, kind of just marking off what we've read, because it can get discouraging when you try to read the whole Bible. Oh my goodness, like it feels huge. But then I think I saw like a Harry Potter book, and I'm like, that's like the same size as the Bible. Like I'm probably exaggerating, but it kind of felt like it. It kind of felt like a Harry Potter book was as big as the Bible. And I'm like, what's stopping me from reading this book? And it's the enemy. The enemy's always there trying to stop me. I mean, I took a huge break in between these Proverbs. Um, and there were so many different things that has happened. And I'm just thankful and grateful to have God's word. If I did not have God's word and like I wouldn't have anything. My pastor was talking about on Wednesday. The Christian life is not easy. And some of you guys have already heard that. The Christian life is hard. And sometimes you can look at God and you be like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you allowing this? Why do I have to go through this? But like it's almost like that's what's refining you. That's what's giving you character. That's what's changing you into being more like Christ. And it's also you longing for heaven. You know, you're not satisfied with this world. You can't be satisfied with this world. This world is nothing compared to what God has done for us. And he was talking about just how he was like, you know, like I wouldn't want to be like anywhere else. I wouldn't want to go in you know any other place but be in his presence, because there is something so personal about the God of the Bible, the Abraham, Isaac, you know, like Jacob, Jesus Christ. Like there is something so unique. It's not like other religions, you know. He's, especially Jesus, like when you hear stories about Jesus, he's like backwards from the culture. You know, it's like the things he says, it's like, whoa, like that's not how the world was living then, and that's not how the world's living now. And to be so radical, you know, it's kind of amazing. And yet he was so personable. Personable, I think that's the word. Compassionate, loving, and even loving in his correction. You know, he had so much insight with people. And lately I've been praying for like divine appointments as well. And Sunday I met this girl, and actually I didn't meet her. I saw her talking to somebody else, and then I kind of just saw her. I was working, and then I thought she left. Like I thought she left. She had a kid and she was dropping off her daughter. And I thought she had left because I saw her in the parking lot, and I was like, did she just drop off her kid? I'm like, that's interesting, because that's not a normal, I guess you could. Some people do that. Like they will take their kids to church and use it as babysitting, which it seems kind of wrong, but I think as a Christian, I would rather that be than anything else. Like, because that child is now going to receive God's word, and that child could save their parents. You know, that child could minister to their parents. But she didn't. She came back, and then so she went. She must have went to her car or something, and I was kind of just walking around the church, and I was kind of walking around church in kind of circles. And lately I've been doing that. I've been just kind of walking around and seeing, like, I don't know, I'm just been in the right place at the right time, you know, and I've been trying to be very mindful. So I saw her. She was picking up her child, and I went up to her and I'm like, "Are you new?" Now, I'm on a really big church. Like, she was not, like, there was nothing that, like, stood out that I was like, "Oh, you don't belong here." You know, nothing like that. I just happened to see her early on, and I don't know, I had that prompting to talk to her, and the things that she was telling me, and I prayed with her, and she was just like, she hadn't grown up in the church or anything. She's just, this is what she wants now for her daughter. And the Lord had spoken to her through the message as well. And so that was so cool. And every so often, like, I'll have those divine appointments. And then other times I feel like this anxiousness. And I used to think that it was something else, but I think it's something that, I don't know, it's like I feel like either it's my flesh or it's like the enemy that doesn't want God's work to go through, and I will remove myself from such from certain places, and then I will be like, oh man, I wish I would have stayed, or I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have said this, or I saw that person but I didn't talk to them, and being very, you have to be very open to the Spirit, and not have it be like about yourself. Because sometimes, man, I'd be so nervous. Like when this girl's like, this girl's gonna think I'm crazy. I'm like, here's this person like walking up to her, doesn't know me. Luckily I don't think I had gloves on. It's like clean, so I'm like, I wasn't sure if I had gloves on, but I was like I had to get out of my own head. Yes. I had to get out of my own head to talk to this person. And I'm like super, like, I feel like I'm super shy and I get really nervous and I talk a lot. So I tried to like just kind of invite her. We have like young adults. She was like a young adult. So I invited her to the young adults, and it was just such a blessing, because to be used in that way, like, I don't know if maybe there were other people that would talk to her, but there was like, God was able to have me in that place. And I don't want to take that for granted. But yet, when those kind of situations happen, you also have like the opposite happen, where sometimes I'll run into people and have a terrible interaction. Like their spirit just clashes with my spirit, because and I've had that multiple times, where it's like, oh, like people won't like you because you're a Christian, and they don't even know you're a Christian. It's literally their spirit does not want to be around your spirit, and it's so triipy. But I don't know how I got into that tangent, but it was so cool. I've been definitely praying for the divine appointments, and I think the church sometimes may lack in prayer, or lack in boldness, lack in we're talking about unity and what was it? It was intentional conversations. We tend to be very surface level, and I'm guilty of that at times, but not because I'm not open, because I don't feel like that people are listening. So I think that's what it is on my end. Or, you know, it's not the time. People don't have the time. And so they're like, oh, how are you? I'm good. You know, it's like you pass by and you don't, you know, there's times where like people are like, well, stop it. be like, how are you? Or like, what do you need today? I had someone text me today, and they're like, what do you need today? And I was like, I need this. And so that was cool. And we have to be very intentional, and we have to learn that we're not the only ones going through things. So when you're going through things, like, it's not just you. Like, kind of have to get past yourself and not yeah, I sometimes I get stuck in my own stuff, and some people are worse. And I don't want to say, because I think we all handle our issues very differently. Like, something that could be major for me wouldn't be major for you. So I don't know if there's like levels or just the way, like, I think I'm getting to the point where it's like, I think I posted something on Instagram. It's like, it is what it is. Like, I don't even know how to respond to things anymore, because like I said, like, the Lord is testing you, or he's just allowing things to refine you. And I'm tired. I'm tired, but I was talking to someone the other day, and she it was an old friend, and we're kind of not friends, and now and I was kind of like, well, why do you want to be my friend? And it was just putting things aside, setting certain things aside. I think she had mentioned something about like her problem. She felt like her problems were just the same. And then she was like, but I didn't know you were going through these stuff too. And then she was like, and it's like, sometimes people handle things differently, and it's okay. But I think that when you have those like divine appointments, or you have that intentional conversations, like, it's so important, because there's a reason why we go through the things we go through. Like, I had another person talk to me this morning. They were going through something pretty harsh, and I was just kind of sharing with them, and in my experience, and I don't think I would have been able to, like, they asked me a question, and I don't think I would have been able to respond in the way that I did without going through what I've been through in life, in ministry, and all that stuff. And so it's been really cool, like, the doors that open. I think I said this on my last live, I don't know where I said it, but the doors that have been opening to me because of the stuff that I go through is like, I would not be in that room. Like, that's not the room that I was allowed into. I couldn't be in that room, and the doors are open because of pain and hurt. And I think it's pretty amazing. It's not easy, but it's something that I look as a positive. That's funny, I'm like a net positive. I've been listening to too much John Chris lately. He has a podcast for net positives, but it's so funny. But he always tries to find the positive in things, and that is kind of been like another thing that I've been trying to find, is like the positive, because the more we see like what the Lord is doing, I feel like he reveals like little glimpses. But again, like, I went to an event, and I was like, I would not have been in this event unless I would have gone through things in my life. And it's like, wow, like you let me in this room. Like, doors are open to me that I've never been in. And it's amazing, and it's only through the trials. And sometimes we have to be thankful for the trials, because it's not about us. Someone told me the other day, it's like, it's not about you. And I was like, I love that. I love hearing that, because it's like, it's so true. It's not about me. Like, this is all about Christ. This is about sharing his love, sharing his salvation, with others, sharing that peace that surpasses understanding. is awesome. I'm going to read one more chapter because I am now getting tired, which is good. That's kind of what I want to do, is come on here because I was not tired and I felt like I just hadn't been on for a long time and I really needed to be on here. So I will go ahead and read Proverbs chapter 15. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pours forth foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but he who receives correction is prudent. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the fool does not do so. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him who follows righteousness. Harsh discipline is for him who forsakes the way, and he who hates correction will die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord, so how much more the hearts of the sons of men? A scoffer does not love one who corrects him, nor will he go to the wise. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is of a merry heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure with trouble. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fatted calf with hatred. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger allays contention. The ways of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns by the way of the upright, but the way of the upright is a highway. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors there they are established. A man has joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good it is. The way of life winds upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the boundary of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous studies how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours forth evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and a good rapport makes the bones healthy. The earth that hears the rebuke, the ear that hears rebuke, the ear that hears the rebuke of life will abide among the wise. He who disdains instruction despises his own soul, but he who heeds rebuke gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Sorry, I got tongue-tied at the end. I'm probably gonna have to cut that one when I read it. I'm gonna try to post these individually. I have a playlist. I believe I have a playlist for Psalms, Proverbs, well, up to this number, and John. I think I have John. I think that's a good one. I think if you're ever if you're just starting to read the Bible and you want to know who Jesus is, John is a really good book to start with. I really liked how they talked more about hearts. I'm like, that's so crazy. That's what I've been thinking about. there's an overview, and it says, a woman's words, the tongue that speaks them, and the heart that chooses them to reveal them. I'm so tongue-tied today, guys. The tongue that speaks them and the heart that chooses them reveals much about her. An ideal of conduct is urged in the comments on how we should say what we say. A soft answer is conciliatory answer, often relieving a tense situation by dissolving a person's anger. Such responses require kindness, self-control, patience, love, and peace. All the fruits of the Spirit. And then it says, attitude is an inward feeling expressed by outward behavior. Attitude can be seen without the speaking of a word. Attitude can produce merry, literally joyful or cheerful face. Attitudes also color a person's whole experience. Happiness and depression are issues of the heart. What a person is on the inside has more impact on his emotional state than the circumstances. Then it says, lavish hospitality is not necessarily an indication of goodwill. Behind the stimulating conversation of a good hostess may lie ulterior motives. A simple meal with love, honesty, and true fellowship is far better than a sumptuous feast amid wealth with hatred. And it says, God cares for the woman who is alone. He is the champion of defenselessness and will secure the land belonging to the widow. Land was kept in the family, and its boundaries were important. A widow was easy prey to thieves who might steal her land, so the Lord promised that he would protect her boundaries. God did this for Naomi when he provided Ruth as a dutiful daughter-in-law and established her borders in Israel. The contrast is between the proud and humble. The proud woman would depend on her own resources, but the widow, usually in humble circumstances, would depend on the Lord. And then the last note, it says, to open our mouths with wisdom requires study. The wise person ponders and thinks carefully by studying other people, the situation, and the impact of the potential words before answering. In contrast, a foolish person gushes out evil words like the water that bubbles forth out of a spring. There's a note for the next chapter. It says, wise living. It's like kind of chapter 16 to 22. It's like talking about wise living. That's a good place to stop. But thank you guys for joining. I'm so excited. I'm going to post whatever I can, because just like the sound, I'm gonna check the sound and see if it was okay. And if everything is okay, I will post it on YouTube and post it on TikTok, and hopefully get on another live. I just thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a blessed night. Take care.